I would I would like to make a few comments before the start of the uh, Zoom meeting. Is it
Okay.
all right?
Are would you like us to wait to start the meeting, or do you want to do it before we start the meeting?
Before you start the meeting.
Okay, sure. What would you like? Any questions that you have?
Not a question. Actually, I just
And make sure that everybody. Oh, yeah. we we're not quite ready for the recording, but let's wait. Just it's 3 after. Okay, I see. So Sophie, when things for the recording, and I've actually meant to mention this a couple times on other recordings about the start point and the end point. Definitely start this one when I make the introduction for the event and remove all of this. Let me come to the meeting. I clicked on the wrong meeting. Here we go. There we go. Okay, so we've got Sami and Chinthaka and Upendra, and then Indira will make some opening comments. I don't see Indira here, so but we'll go from there. So good. Let's see.
Hey, Doug, you're on mute. Just in case.
Hey, I was just trying to figure out how to remove the presentation. If I share.
Is that okay now?
Not quite yet. So maybe let's see, if I replace the current share. And then stop the share. There we go. Okay, I figured it out. No worries. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening around the world. My name is Doug Brunke. I'm the founder and CEO of Global Chamber. We have a follow-up conversation today about opportunities coming and going from Sri Lanka. It's particularly appropriate that we chat about this today. I'm very curious to see how the tariffs have evolved, but certainly when we set this conversation up, the tariff situation very much favored products from Sri Lanka into the United States. And so that's a moving target. I think things to remember fundamentally is that Sri Lanka is a very important exporting country for the US and other countries. And so we've assembled a group of people who are very much aware of the various products and services coming from Sri Lanka. They'll be able to give us information about those products and services and also what's going on currently in terms of the dynamics financially, including on the tariffs. We have Indira here on the call, Indira Rajapaksa, and you, sir, are the lead person for the group, this exporting group. And so really appreciate you joining us today. And I believe you have some opening comments you'd like to make. Thank you for participating today, and we look forward to learning more.
thank you. Hi, Bowen. Good morning, good evening, good day to all of you all over the world. As a part of our collaboration with the Global Chamber USA, we are delighted to join the important webinar hosted by the Global Chamber to showcase the opportunities for Sri Lankan exports in the US and other international markets. The focus is on three key sectors: apparel, rubber-related products, and ICT BPO services. which have significant potential for growth and global partnerships. I would like to extend my sincere thanks to the Global Chamber USA and the CEO of Global Chamber, as well as other international markets. Our speakers today will emphasize why Sri Lanka is recognized as reliable and ethical sourcing destination, offering high-quality products and services backed by internationally accredited standards with the recent economic and policy reforms. Sri Lanka is now even more cost competitive, opening timely opportunities for US and international importers who are seeking sustainable and trusted supply partners. This webinar will showcase Sri Lanka's unique advantages as a sourcing hub, including strong ethical and compliance frameworks respected worldwide, competitive cost structure that deliver greater value for importers, a strategic geographical location with efficient global shipping routes, a highly skilled workforce ensuring consistency, quality, and innovation in production. We believe this discussion will further strengthen Sri Lanka's positioning as a sourcing hub of choice and help foster stronger long-term trade partnership with the US and global markets. So I believe today's webinar will be of importance and at the same time very productive and fruitful webinar for all of you all who are online. Thank you very much for the opportunity given, Mr. Dog Bronchi. I hope I pronounce your name correctly, the CEO of Global Chambers. Thank you. All the very best to all of you. Hi, Bon.
Our pleasure. Actually, you did pronounce that very close to perfectly. So thank you very much. Hopefully, I've
Thank you.
pronounced your name well as well. Indira Rajapaksa, is that the best way?
Yeah.
Very
Indra
good.
Rajapaksa. Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Could you
right.
tell us a little bit about NCE Sri Lanka and what the group does and a little bit of a background
Yes.
there?
Yes. NCE stand for National Chamber of Exporters. This apex body of exporters. And we are the voice of exporters in Sri Lanka, where we have approximately 550 members in our association. All are exporters, out of which we have about 75 aspiring exporters. And we conduct many programs, webinars, delegation visits to promote exports from Sri Lanka and create opportunities for our members to interact with overseas buyers and suppliers. So this is what we do mainly, and also conduct we have signed about 19 MOUs with different countries where we make them very useful for our country who are engaged in exports. So we as a chamber, we are very much into spreading our wings to the regions in Sri Lanka and promoting exports, because the government of Sri Lanka have a target this year of 18 billion, and for the next 5 years 36 billion. So this year we have reached 11.5 billion so far, and we are hopeful that we will reach the balance in the next coming months. And for that, USA is the biggest market for us, especially for the three sectors that we are talking about today. The presenters, Semi presenting apparel, Chintaka presenting rubber, because Sri Lanka is the hub, I would say, the center for supplying solid tires to the whole world, which we cater about 25 to 30% of the whole world market, and where USA is one of the biggest buyers. And of course, the ICT sector presented by Upendra. So this is the significant importance of USA playing a key role as buyers of Sri Lankan products.
Wonderful. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
that additional context. Really appreciate it. Let's jump right into the conversation. So we really appreciate the work that the National Chamber of Exporters is doing in the collaboration with Global Chamber. We're very much aligned. Global Chamber was initially started to help and support exporters to see and engage with and be successful in foreign markets. And that's still a very strong component of our activity and makes our collaboration very important to us. Thank you. Let's go
Thank
to
you.
Thank you. Mr. Sami Bandara, he's the Director of Textile Lanka Exports. And so, Sami, thank you for already just a brief conversation that we had. We look forward to learning more about the first component of this exporting triad and its activities that you're involved with. Welcome, and we look forward to learning more. Please go ahead.
Sure.
Probably need to share a different, there you go. Perfect. We can see it.
Great. Hi, good evening, good morning, or good evening, good afternoon, depending on where you are joining us today. First of all, my thanks to the Global Chamber for this opportunity and to all of you for taking the time to learn about the Sri Lanka advantage. Sri Lanka has been known for decades as a reliable and ethical sourcing destination for US importers in particularly. That combination, reliability and ethics, is critical when your supply chains are stretched across the globe. And today, with recent reforms and stabilization, Sri Lanka is not only reliable and ethical, but also more cost competitive than ever before. So, first of all, let me talk about the industry overview. So, if you look at Sri Lanka alone, what our exports, the apparel industry accounts for almost 50% of the merchandise exports out of Sri Lanka. It is around 5 billion US dollars a year, representing 5% of our GDP. If you look at the industry as a whole, the top 20 companies account for 80% of our export volume. Smaller companies play a critical role as contract manufacturers for larger players and also direct exporters. If you check the export destinations out of Sri Lanka, 40% accounts the US market, the European EU market is 30%, and the UK is 15%. If you look at the facilities that are offered in Sri Lanka, you get the cut and sew manufacturers, washing, dyeing, printing, and embroidery plants. Then component manufacturers that manufacture bra cups, hooks, eyes, wires, bows, and buttons. So obviously you do get front-end support like the design houses now that are catering to high-end fashion industry. So if you look at Sri Lanka and its advantages as a manufacturer, what I could say is our number one key USP is the reliable ethical sourcing opportunities that you get within Sri Lanka. Then an area what I would like to say is that we focus a lot on corporate social responsibility. Certifications are not legal. However, it requires depending on the company and the brand that we work with. So, for example, different different companies within the US would ask for things like the ethical certificates that are required to supply to them. If you look at the trade and duty across the board, to the UK, it is under the UK's DCTS scheme. From the first quarter of 2026, fabric from any country is allowed to be imported to the UK. That is, let's say if you're looking at manufacturing or value addition here, it's duty free to the UK. So there has been a lot of interest within the UK. And if you look at the EU market, we fall under the GSP plus duty free access, where the fabric that we source, if it's from the SAARC region, which is the South Asian region, and Indonesia, you could export to the European Union duty free. The US has a reduced tariff rate of 20% compared to the regional competition. Um, we offer we ours is the lowest. So with all of that in mind, and something that I would like to mention here is, um, with regards to ethical sourcing, people have invested a lot on rooftop solar installation, um, where uh, the greenhouse gases and our footprint is less. Then companies use recycled water usage, energy efficient audits, etc. So with that in mind, what has happened is, um, obviously we have shorter lead times, but later on in the presentation I will present about the Colombo port and its strategic location when catered to the US market. If you look at Sri Lanka's recovery, most of you would know that we faced a huge economic meltdown 3 years ago, but that is 3 years ago now. And now the economy has rebounded from where we were. Um, Say, for example, if you look at the GDP rebound, and it's growing at 5%. Foreign reserves are 6.5 billion US dollars. Inflation has eased, and it's currently 1.2%. So all of that stabilization has helped Sri Lanka get to that position. Export now, right now, the government, policymakers, and all of them are focused on export-led growth and for our revival. And the feedback that we've received from the IMF have been very, very positive. Currently, as of this year, in the first 8 months, we have achieved close to 12 billion US dollars of exports, and our target is 18 billion. And if you look at tourism, that is up 66% year on year when you compare the receipts of it. Why this moment? US demand for diversifying sourcing post COVID and geopolitical shifts. Sri Lanka rebounding with policy reforms. You can lock in supply chains before uh, uh, everyone else gets in, and you align with ethical and sustainable supply chain. So if you look right now, with less duty from the European Union and the UK, a lot of buyers from those regions have flocked to Sri Lanka. So this is the time for the US also to engage, because right now Sri Lanka is the hotbed for sourcing all of these material and these products. I will let my other colleagues talk about why the other areas or other industries uh, are attractive to the US importers. Uh, and another area where people have focused is the export diversification and opportunities. So beyond traditional apparel, so Sri Lanka initially started supplying the fashion industry, but in the last 30 years, they have really focused on lingerie and also activewear. So other than those two markets, people have started focusing on the defense, marine, and the PPE industry. During COVID, the PPE industry really grew within the markets, and uh, Sri Lanka, since it's a smaller manufacturing location compared to other manufacturing hubs within Asia, most of the buyers have focused on niche areas or sourcing niche products within out of Sri Lanka. Um, this is about the company that I'm employed with as a director. We have been in industry for over 30 years, and we've been an OME partner for defense, marine, and workwear. Compliance with international standards, obviously ISO 9000, ISO 9001, 2015, and also ISO 14000 compliant company. Proven experience in large-scale production and strong global consumer relationships. Um, Today, as a member of the National Chamber of Exporters and as the secretary, I would like to proudly mention that there are 46 areas that are represented within the National Chamber of Exporters. So if any of your member companies want to basically source different products, this whole area is there's 46, I mean, starting from alcohol all the way up to wood and wood-based products. You'll see so many different products, and you could reach out to the secretariat if they want to source different products as well. And what my commitment and something I want to talk about, why I've got involved with the National Chamber of Exporters. I returned back to Sri Lanka after 20 years living in the UK, and uh, was given a leadership role within the management committee to strengthen the exporters' voice, because we, as the National Chamber of Exporters, we work as the voice of the exporters, and we lobby on behalf of the exporters with government and policymakers to make sure that we get a fair crack at things. Um, I personally, I've been very passionate about rebuilding and rebuilding Sri Lanka. If you look at Sri Lanka, we've been short sold in the past. Going back 20 years, we had the tsunami, so people remembered us about the tsunami. We had a 30-year civil law that finished in 2009, so people remember of that. And then we had unfortunate incidents in 2019, and then obviously the economic crisis that we faced in 2022. But from all, what I can tell everyone is, with all of that, now in 2025, after all of those negative experiences that we've gone through, it has made us stronger. And as a country, we are still fighting our battle to be relevant within a large global stage as a small island nation. So I think it's important that we tell us story and how we have come out of this and how we are fighting our fight to be relevant within Sri Lanka. Uh, and the last slide I'll be sharing is a call to action. Partner with Sri Lanka because we are reliable, ethical, cost competitive. If you look at a lot of EU and US buyers that have been working with most of our companies, they all have long established supply bases with decades long brand relationships. So initially, you start as uh, a relationship which is professional, but over the years, most of our companies build personal relationships with these companies, because when you work with 20, 30 years with one customer, that shows our loyalty with these with our customers. um, with Collaborate with trusted manufacturers and exporters. So I would like to mention about the ISO 9000, ISO 14000 adaptation of adaptation of international standards, then RAP and SEDEX for compliance, LEED certification for buildings, high industry standards overall, and a very, very strong labor regulations with robust enforcement. With all of this in mind, leveraging Sri Lanka's strategic location, an area that I would really like to mention here is the logistics. The Colombo port is the 25th busiest port in the world. We are, if you look at the US, you get um, only 2 ports that are busier than the Colombo port within Sri Lanka, or the Colombo port that we have. So if you look at the sailing times out of Colombo to Hong Kong, it's 14 days. To China, it's 18 days. To the East Coast of the US, it's 21 days direct sailing times. To the West Coast, it's 25 days. International logistics, if you look at the port and the airport, they're both based in Colombo, and it's well connected. And and as companies, we have invested in innovation and sustainability to add value to our end user. So with all of that in mind, what I would like to say is Sri Lanka is the place to be. And as a country, we have come a long way to partner with the US. And I hope this helps uh, the global chamber members to team up with the NCE to get um, to team up with our membership to um, for long-term collaborative partnerships. Thank you.
Thank you. Great presentation. Could you, and we have about a half hour left, so we have 2 speakers, and I encourage those in the audience to raise your hand if you have questions, or put your questions in the chat area. Either one of those options would be ideal. The attendees here are noted as members with an asterisk. And if you are a member, let us know. Also, I encourage everyone here to put your full name and ideally company name in your Zoom area so that we can know who you are and hopefully help support you more. So thank you, Sami. I wonder if you could just briefly say, I was very impressed with the thought that you've been in the UK and you've moved back to Sri Lanka to help and support exporters and the country. How long were you in the UK? How long have you been back in Sri Lanka, and how has that decision impacted you and your family and the country?
Yeah, but thank you, Doug. In brief, I lived in the UK for 20 years, so from 1999 to 2019. It came to a point in life where it was not. I wanted to make something substantial and do something substantial. So so what happened was in 2019, after coming back, I've tried moving back few times, but things didn't work out. Whereas this time around, it's coming up to 6 years at the end of the year that I've been back in Sri Lanka, and I would say this is the best decision I've made for me and my family, because Sri Lanka offers a lot. If you look at some countries, the markets are saturated, whereas Sri Lanka is a growing market, and the opportunities are endless. Um, um, Even the basic things that you do, or even basic businesses that you would see within saturated markets, here there's so much room to grow. And being part of the National Chamber of Exporters, we are actually making a difference, lobbying on behalf of uh, the exporters with the policymakers, because by no means Sri Lanka is not perfect like any other place. But here, even when you make a small contribution, it goes a long way. So overall, I'm very happy moving back, and we have seen many people moving back over the last 24 months as well. And in Sri Lanka in 2022, during the economic crisis, some people left, but the people who left have started coming back as well after 2-3 years. So that is a positive trend as well. So yes.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. I do see a couple questions in the chat area. I'm going to cover those after either the next speaker or the speaker after. So thank you. Keep the questions coming in, and that gives us lots of options going forward. Let's now talk to Chinthaka Wagapatiya. I believe you're the next speaker. Now, I thought it is, right?
Yes.
So that's fantastic. So you actually are in an area that I have some reasonable knowledge of. I spent almost 20 years in the rubber industry. And so I'm very happy that you were selected to speak today. I look forward to learning more. The rubber industry and I go way back, and I have a very strong affinity for it, including in Sri Lanka. So please go ahead. Are you going to be sharing a presentation as well?
Yes, I will share my presentation.
Wonderful. We look forward.
Okay. I think you can see my presentation.
We see it, and it looks like the right one. I see some tires and some seals and variety of fun stuff.
Okay. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and good day to everybody. And my name is Chintaka Vagapiti. I'm head rubber sector at National Chamber of Exporters. And also I am the Director CEO of Laughs Corporation Rubber, a BOI company, Board of Investment Approved company, exports our products to almost 55 countries around the world. So let me go through my brief presentation, and Mr. Rajapaksha and Sami, thank you for setting the stage, and certain things I wanted to speak about were discussed during your presentations. Anyway, let me go through the brief presentation. Okay, Sri Lanka, our first rubber tree was planted back in 1876 during the British rule. And over the after the first plantation, for 150 years, we were exporting raw rubber as a raw material for industrial countries. But things started to change back in 1980s, and Sri Lanka, there was a new era of rubber manufacturing, and many international companies came to Sri Lanka to set up their factories, mainly because we had the world's best quality rubber. And as of now, rubber sector is the third largest export sector, and more than 400,000 direct and indirect employment is being produced, and it's a vital contributor to the rural economy. And if you take the rubber plantations, almost 80% is managed by the small holders and SME sector. So it's a very, as I said, a vital component in our rural economy. And if you can see, I hope you can see the map I have shared. The dark green areas are the traditional rubber plantation areas. But now the planters and the government is pushing the plantations to new geographical areas with more lands, and also now this green area is becoming more industrial and urban. So the land prices and the big lands, availability of big lands has come down. So now rubber plantations are shifting towards these new non-traditional areas. Okay, let me talk about our main products that we export to the world market. as our president mentioned, Sri Lanka is considered as the capital of solid tires. So we manufacture 30% of the global demand here in Sri Lanka, and almost all the big players like Michelin, Trelleborg, Conti, and all these top people, top factories, top brands are located in Sri Lanka. So because of that, we have created a huge knowledge base in Sri Lanka, and we have been able to secure the best quality. And now we have our country brand has additional advantage in global marketing. And our second biggest product is surgical and other rubber gloves, and we supply 5% of the global demand. Apart from those two big products, there are other products like rubber plates, rubber automotive products, and gaskets, and so many other things. And now these rubber-based bedding solutions are becoming more popular, and there are new emerging companies who are exporting, especially to US, these natural rubber-based pillows and mattresses. Altogether, the industry export value is about $1 billion. So the government and the industry is pushing forward to increase it up to at least 2 billion within next 2 to 3 years. And if you take why Sri Lanka, so I think Sami covered a lot of things, but let me add few more. One thing is Sri Lanka has a very technologically advanced and mature industry. So over the last 40 to 45 years, Sri Lanka has become the leader in, especially in solid tire manufacturing and other pneumatic tire manufacturing, and our glove and other manufacturing industries also adding more and more advanced technology, and we have been able to secure additional market share. And we have a favorable tariff, 20% compared to our other competitive countries like Thailand, Indonesia, Malaysia, and Vietnam. So maybe 1% difference here and there, but we are in a good footing there. And favorable socio-economic background, as Sami mentioned, we went through economic crisis, but now things have been improved, and we are stable, and the economy is moving at the right direction. And there has been a lot of interest among foreign customers and investors to come to Sri Lanka, because we have even after the economic crisis, we showed the world that we are so resilient and accommodative in during these difficult times. So it's a good place to invest, and also a good. It's a beautiful country, and there are so many other things, other areas you can look into. And most of our manufacturers are compliant with all local and international trade laws and labor laws. Here in Sri Lanka, we have a very strict and very comprehensive labor laws, and all these exporters, manufacturers, industries should compliance with these laws, otherwise we can't operate. So from ambient lighting in the factory premises to child labor to women employment, the conditions related to those areas, and also sound levels, everything is covered in these regulations. So we always follow the rules and regulations, and if you come to Sri Lanka, you will realize that the industries in Sri Lanka is quite different too, and how they the same industry in the Asian region. So it's something admirable, and as it's a very strategic location, Sri Lanka in the middle of east-west shipping route, and as Sami said, we have a very busy, large port, and it's continuously expanding. And I believe within next couple of years, it will be within top 20 ports in the world. And we have so many vessel callings and good shipping lines call at Colombo port, so we can secure very good shipping rates and transit times. And the government is now going through a digitization program, and I believe within Pupendra will be able to add something more on top of this. Most of the government operations and also day-to-day activities will be digitized within the next couple of years. So it's a very rapid program, and we hope it will be completed very soon. And most important thing is most of our factories in Sri Lanka, we have excess capacity. And even though we don't have, in certain cases, if we do not have excess capacity, we can have the financial and other technical capability to add capacity. So if somebody wants to purchase from us, we can immediately accommodate their volumes. And if they need something extra, we can utilize our capabilities to enhance the capacities. So let me top 3 reasons why we any foreign customer should consider Sri Lanka. One thing is technology and productivity. Sri Lanka's technology in rubber industry is quite admirable, and our productivity is very high. And most of these manufacturers are continuing to improve the both aspects. And favorable environment. Sri Lanka is a very secure country, and other economic and socio conditions are getting improved. And within next, we believe within next 5-10 years, Sri Lanka will be a very strong. Sri Lanka will be in very strong position in terms of the socio-economic conditions and ethical and sustainable production. So all these factories are following these principles, and especially rubber sector, we adhere to a lot of compliances, especially in Europe, like UDR, European Union deforestation regulation. I heard it's going to be a little postponed, but still all the companies are ready to comply with these regulations. And also all our products are manufactured using safe materials, and also say at least 60% of our companies or products are carrying sustainable materials. In certain industries, certain factories, it can go up to 80-90%, but if you take average, it's about 60%. So overall situation in Sri Lanka is very favorable, and cost and the safety wise, we are very compared to other competitive nations around Asia, we are in a very good position. So I believe Sri Lanka is a very good place or destination to source rubber and rubber related products. Thank you. And if you have any further questions, I'm very happy to answer during this session. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you for the presentation. We're going to continue to go around the room, and then I hope we'll have some time for questions at the end. Our next speaker is going to be the third piece of the leg of key export products and services. Dr. Upendra Piras, who's the CEO of Oral IT, will be speaking. Dr. Piras, are you there, please? And are you available to speak?
Yeah, I'm here. So let me start sharing.
Where are you today?
I'm good. Thank you.
Where are you located today?
For the day, I'm located in Sri Lanka for a short visit. So hope you can see my screen.
We can. We can. There we go. That looks encouraging.
Okay. I'll jump in quickly. I'm representing IT and BPM sector in Sri Lanka. the introduction has been already made, but I'll directly go into the industry. This is kind of an overview about the on 2015 up to now. The industry has been grew up rapidly from 850 million up to 1.4 billion until about 2024 based on the statistics. So we consider it as a 71% a rapid jump on the industry itself. And the workforce has been grew up from 80,000 people to nearly about 150,000 people for export BPM sector companies. So I think the major improvement has been came out soon after COVID or during the COVID period. You can see the improvement from 2020 and it hit down on 2023 where the Sri Lanka went through the crisis time period. But now that we are back on the track, if you could see that on 2024, we are moving back into the same status where we have been left on 2022. So IT BPM considered to be one of the major upcoming emerging export industries for Sri Lanka. And this is just a diverse service verticals under IT and BPM. I want to focus on few things and specify few numbers. 5 years back, Sri Lanka on the IT BPM sector mostly known into F&A industry, which is on finance and banking, accounting and support services. But it has been changed completely within the last 5 years in a very short time period into more into technical support. And if I go further on a technical support perspective, you can see that it has been grew up from 25% to 40%. And this is purely targeting AI and advanced technology support services. So that's a quick jump in a 5 years time frame, which was no longer before 5 years back, it was no longer there. But suddenly after 5 years, this has been appeared and it started rapidly improving. And similarly, voice services started to go down. Healthcare and analytics is completely a new area which has been started about again on the same time frame of 5 years back. And if you look at now in a composition rate, the diversification is in between technical support, software development, and analytics, which is more into advanced developments. A quick background on specifically for the IT domain. Currently, annually, we have 10,000 plus IT related technology graduates coming out of all local, state, and private universities in Sri Lanka. And we see it as a major workforce. And as we all know that our literacy is basically the best in the region or South Asia or even on the SAARC. And our digital literacy is also improving. And based on the statistics on 2023, we were crossing about 63%. And I'm sure that the current growth rate is about 80% or closer. Infrastructure-wise, because when it comes to technology, the two major infrastructures that we are looking at is about the power and the connectivity. So I just wanted to pitch on the power segment. The major point is the last unknown power outage happened in Sri Lanka is on 2022. That's for 1 hour. So I see it as a positive impact because soon after the last 3 years, there were no unknown outages has been recorded within the country. And power availability aspect, we have been already recognized as one of the best in the region. And electrification-wise, on 2016, the whole country has been connected throughout the power infrastructure, and we still have further funded projects for improvements. Another key advantage why Sri Lanka should consider as a technology hub or a technology supporting country is our connectivity infrastructure. Sri Lanka is basically have the highest connectivity from international cables. So we are connected through 10 submarine cables through Sri Lanka, and even none of the other members, including India, doesn't have this amount of connectivity, where India is currently going through about 8 submarine cable connectivity for the country itself, where Sri Lanka is the only in the region who has 10 submarine cable connectivity running through Sri Lanka. And we want to highlight the fact the east side of the country and East Asian side of the country is basically running through Sri Lanka. So that makes us an infrastructure-wise a key significant location to be considered. And the second one is we are facilitated by one of the tier 1 global service providers in the region. When it comes to tier 1 service providers, I'm talking about the global internet traffic. So the whole world is basically connected through only 15 global partners. And we have one, which is Tata in the region, which Tata is basically managing close to 20% internet traffic when it compares to rest of the other tier 1 partners. Local connectivity wise, Sri Lanka is already connected on a fiber. You can see the figures. We have more than 70% population within 10 kilometers fiber range. And we have a good fiber coverage and 4G connectivity already. And with the current new government, we are moving ahead with the strategy of moving into 5G. And probably by end of next year or mid of next year, we will be moving to 5G completely, which is the 5G is already available, but the infrastructure upgrade will be completed by mid of next year. And we have a very mature regulation and governance policy within the country. I just want to draw a comparison in between the competition. If you look at it on the pricing aspect, Sri Lanka is not cheap because we measure quality over quantity. We don't have too much of quantities. You saw that our total workforce on the industry is somewhere around 140,000 people when it comes to export of IT. But comparatively on the pricing stage, we are in middle. But when you go to the attrition rate, about the quality of people, quality of talent, I mean, we are the best on rather than any of our competitors. Resilience throughout the crisis, we have went through much. Sri Lanka has gone through many, but throughout the period, the resilience and connectivity and uninterrupted services throughout for our clients all over has been tremendous, and the support and everything which we have been maintained throughout the COVID, throughout the crisis, was uninterrupted, and we have been able to manage over 90% in uninterrupted service plus client retention more than 95%. There are a few high-level success cases and case studies, which is including the organization that I'm representing, plus HSBC and WSO2. Just wanted to highlight one of the use cases that I'm involved. We are more into AI support services. So the global AI developments is basically fall through one of the companies in generally by a Sri Lankan company like us. And that covers about 15 million plus AI trainings, which has been conducted by a single organization in Sri Lanka, which is us. And that covers basically autonomous driving, retail, agriculture, medical, and engineering. Another emerging areas in the country is we are more into offensive cyber. Sri Lanka has many records globally about offensive cybersecurity. We're not talking about the old school defensive cybersecurity. We are talking about offensive cybersecurity, which is more about threat hunting, AI-based cybersecurity support, and most of them are ethically handled within the Sri Lankan context by Sri Lankan engineering staff, which has been globally ranked on number 3, number 4 are basically Sri Lankans who has been able to, excel the industry. These are some of the global vendors as well as local vendors who have established operation in Sri Lanka: HCL, Virtusa, RR Donnelley, HSBC, Oral IT by ourselves. We are a global entity, but our major workforce is in Sri Lanka. WNS, Nagaro, IFS, Innodata, all these are considering Sri Lanka as one of their major grounds when it comes to talent. So that's it from my side. And the last line is saying that we believe Sri Lanka is the next big tech hub in Asia, and we would be able to give more to the world in terms of technology while competing with the rest of our other support countries. Thank you. Hello. I think, Doug, you're mute.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I was on mute. Sorry about that. Yes, we heard you and you did a great job. So thank you so much. I wanted to circle back with Indira Rajapaksa. You've heard 3 presentations. Is there anything that you would like to add based on the 3 presentations that you've heard? What should our takeaway points be here today? Oh, Indira, are you there? And so maybe
Hi, Dav, I'm here. In case you need to ask anything from Indira, I can represent him.
Oh, okay, very good. I wonder if I could go to Shiham Marakar, who has been a presenter at Global Chamber and is part of NCE. Are you available to speak, Shiham? And from what you heard here today, what additional comments do you have based on the 3 presentations?
Okay, first of all, thank you, Dav, and for your chamber for organizing this webinar. I think it's very timely and the discussion points are also very important. As the panelists mentioned, USA is one of our largest market for the apparel sector, the rubber, and also for ICT related services. And I hope that the participants today and also the recordings that you post through social media will reach more people who may have interest. I think my colleagues here did a very good presentation highlighting key areas that Sri Lanka is trying to focus itself and show to the world as ethical trading hub. This is one of the key priorities for us also. We have around 600 members. We always tell them about ethical trading and good governance because this is what they need to reach the US and European markets, and many of them are adhering to that. We have even introduced our own certificate program called the Certificate of Ethical Trading, which is governed by 10 principles. These are some principles. These are principles that we have taken from the fair trade and various other high standard certification bodies. And we are hopefully by next year we should be able to say that all our members are certified under this certification. So I think we have a very good member base where your buyers can contact us, and we'll be very quick to respond as well. And once again, thank you very much, Dav, and to your chamber for organizing this seminar. As mentioned to you in my message, we are also looking at organizing more webinars. Hopefully, the next one will be to highlight our own Ceylon cinnamon and our spices. We are looking at the South American market. There's a lot of demand, a lot of inquiries we get, and I'm sure you will also have your presence in these South American countries where we can invite them to listen to our cinnamon and spice exporters. Over to you, Doug.
Wonderful. How do people get a hold of either NCE, or should they contact the speakers here directly? How would you suggest the next steps be when people are interested?
Yes, they can contact the presenters directly, or they can also copy the email to us to make sure, and we will also follow it up. All these channels are opened up. They can go directly or to us as the NCE.
Sounds good. If you're watching this video and you do want to reach out to someone and don't have a way of doing that, you can send it to Global Chamber as well, info@globalchamber.org, and that will get us to forward your information to them. One final question. I'm wondering, since we set this meeting up, there was some noise and some actions taken on tariffs, and I'm not familiar with what the latest is regarding the tariffs between the US and Sri Lanka. How are things evolving on that side? Hopefully positively. Any update regarding those kinds of trade issues right now?
So right now, the tariff rate is at 20%. Compared to our neighbors, it is more attractive and a bit lower than some of our neighbors. We believe it has given us a not an advantage, but a level playing field with some of the larger suppliers to the US.
Sounds good. So the 20% is fairly across the board in terms of products?
If you look at apparels, it is 20% across the board, but the this is on top of the existing the duties that were basically in place. Say, for example, before the 20% tariff, we were paying between 6% and 40%. Sorry, up to 42%. So with this 20%, we are, so if it was 6% earlier, it was 26%. So but it has been across the board. Say some countries it's 19%, then there's 30%, 35%, 50% like that. So whatever the existing duty that was there, we've got to pay 20% extra. So what? Yeah.
I see. Has that caused significant issues and problems, or do you see it more as an opportunity? How are you viewing this?
It is indeed, obviously, in our case, we would like it to be lower, and it has created supply chain issues because what we've noticed is within I could speak for the apparel industry across the board. The buyers have been nervous. They haven't committed to orders, and so in the next few months, there could be issues within the global supply chain because the buyers are scared to commit. They don't want to commit because because people believe that it might come down or go up as well. So yeah, there's a lot of uncertainty within the supply chain and within the buyers.
Understand. So, sorry for the discomfort, and hopefully in the future we'll have a better situation with lower tariffs and easier trade. In the meantime, thank you for the collaboration. Thanks to all the speakers today. Great information. We'll get this video up and out so that the world gets to see more about these great products and services coming out of Sri Lanka. Thank you very much for everyone for your time today.
Thank you, Dav. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dav. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Thank you, everyone. Take care. Have a great day.
Okay, thank you.
You too.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Nihi, for joining. Appreciate it. Coming in from India, from Africa. Thank you. Okay, Sophie, I think we're all set. Thank you for your help.
Thank you, Doug.